Okay, everyone, Cik Qarmizi has some technical issue.
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay, Cik Qarmizi.
Okay, thank you so much, Shafiqah, for the introduction. Morning and salam, everyone. Thank you for joining the session today, free webinar on energy isolation, lockout, and tagout. So from now onwards, we call it EI LOTO. So from now onwards, you can call me Mizi. Dalam chat box, you can text just Mizi lah. Okay, so additional introduction about myself. I've been working from technician, then become technician, operate plant, then switch to safety, and then from safety, change to digital safety, how to convert safety management system into digital, and now join Intensive Energy as director for various safety project and digital project. Okay, so basically this webinar will be held in conducted in 1 hour. So I try to keep it short and simple. So our objective for today. So basically to understand definition of energy isolation, the tools and the process. Then understand various type of energy isolation. Understand various type of and purpose of LOTO device. Then to understand various type and purpose of tags. Okay. And last but not least, understand importance of proper documentation. So basically, I've gone through some of the pre-prepared questions sent by you during the registration. There are some questions I will answer later on, but most of it related to how do we start, how to get buy-in from the management, which equipment should we use, should we buy from local or international vendor. I try to answer one by one, but the objective today is we need to understand energy, the isolation, the use of lock, the use of tag, and then the proper documentation. So learning outcome, I hope, intensive energy hope that for individual, you will be able to understand, explain various hazardous energy, especially in your industry. Okay, I might be discussing on certain area, but you can relate it with your industry later on. You'll be able to identify isolation method and process, and then you identify the whole process of isolation and de-isolation, normalization. And then if you have management who attended this session today, so we hope that you can identify weakness and strength in your current energy isolation and LOTO process, as well as you can identify how EI LOTO should incorporate it into your SOP for your routine activity. And then you can identify how to sustain. Sometimes to develop, to roll out is easy, but to sustain the implementation is difficult. So we roll out, but then we don't get any support. We don't get any response from our technician or our contractors. So last kita pun rasa give up lah. So on this today punya session, I will show you how to sustain the LOTO program in your organization as well. All right. Okay, we go for module number 2, definition of EI LOTO. So basically, this is type of energy. I believe you can search this type of energy in any browser in Google. You can find also this energy. So basically, these are all energy but not limited to electrical, hydraulic, pneumatic, chemical, kinetic, radiation, thermal. So most industry, factory, manufacturing, place. They have, of course, you involved with electrical. So electrical is commonly available. Hazard energy available at most industry. And then hydraulic, pressurized liquid. Okay, sometimes you use workshop use a lot of hydraulic, especially for ram, automatic ram, to naikkan kereta. And then pneumatic also compressed air, pressurized air. Kalau dalam plant you use utility air, high pressure air, pneumatic. Station pump minyak Petronas, also you have this energy. And then chemical, those working with chemical, please take note that some chemical do have hazardous energy. Walaupun belum kena contact, but there are energy store dalam that container lah. Kinetic, radiation, thermal. So some industry you don't have the radiation, but those who work in manufacturing plant, kilang, if you do welding, repair welding, and then you buat gamma ray punya inspection, kita panggil layman term X-ray lah, gamma ray punya inspection, destructive test, that tools cause having radiation punya energy lah. So if before this you didn't know, now you know. So how to contain this radiation lah, and thermal. Okay, this is commonly hazardous energy lah, exists in the industry. So what is energy isolation? So basically it's a process to ensure the equipment is free from potential and hazardous energy. So by applying proper isolation method and lockout tagout. So basically those who work in the factory plant, platform, or any kilang, this is always routine, operate, shut down, maintenance. Start up, operate, shut down, maintenance. This is you punya life cycle as long as you work in the plant lah. So isolation is commonly used by our technician, our plant operator, our production technician. So this program is how we going to isolate things properly and then install LOTO. If you can see valve, install LOTO, lockout, tagout. This is remote control unit, lockout, tagout. This is electrical breaker. You can find this in your substation, electrical substation. And then you can see this spool removal. Kalau dekat spool, you have one pipeline and then one small portion you can remove. You call it spool for positive isolation. And then you can see spading, spectacle blind. So some of you come from various industry. I saw agro punya kilang. So you might seeing this most of the time lah. This RCU unit and breaker at your substation. And then what is lockout and tagout? So just now we explained on the energy isolation. You proceed with lockout and tagout. First is isolate, then lockout, tagout. Isolate is normal, commonly done by everyone, but lockout, tagout is enhanced to the isolation. So basically, lockout, tagout refers to specific practice or procedure to safeguard employees from the unexpected energization or startup of machine. Okay, by applying locking device and information tag. So it's always, during my time, I always said it's always best if you can lock out, then tag out, both on your energy isolator. But if you can't, at least minimum you can either lock out or tag out, depends. Lockout is always best. Once you lock out, people tak boleh operate. But if you punya design unable you to properly lock out, then tag is minimum requirement. So you can see all this equipment, padlock biasa kita tengok. This is new thing available in the market, electrical cord lockout. So this one usually dalam workshop, bengkel. If ada cikgu university, we have the bengkel kemahiran, where you cannot isolate the power supply, so you isolate the electrical cord. So when the equipment under maintenance, you punya grinder, you punya drilling machine, you punya tools under maintenance, you just use this electrical cord. And then MCB lockout device, this one yang dekat rumah pun ada, this MCB. You see this small switch on off masa rumah kita blackout. This one also we have the lockout device, and you can see various tag, and then you can see lockout box, and this one is widely known as HAPS lah. HAPS. Okay, so why we need to lock out? So basically, for this module, I'm going to explain you on the general overview why we need to lock out. It's not related to industry yet, but the reason why we lock out. So basically, we need to lock out our valve to prevent people from force open it. Okay, lock out our valve so that people cannot open the valve. What else? We lock out our electrical power supply to prevent people from switch it on. We need to lock out our car to prevent people from stealing it. We don't imagine our car kita letak LOTO lah, but we lock our car pakai remote atau pakai kunci to prevent people from stealing it. And then we lock out our machine to prevent people from using it. We lock our door to prevent people from enter. So malam-malam dekat rumah, also we lock our door to prevent. And then we lock our phone to prevent people to steal our information. So basically, we need to understand a lot of question being asked, how to implement, why implement, buy-in, management. So you need to understand, you need to lock out to prevent something from happening. That's the basic fundamental yang we need to have lah. You need to understand, you lock out to prevent from something. Okay. So different type of energy isolation device. As you can see from our day-to-day punya kehidupan, we actually come across with isolation device without we noticing it lah. Okay, like valve. Okay, this one spade, blind. Those who could work in energy, utility industry, they can always see this lah. Okay, this one door stopper kan. Door stopper, I call it isolation device because when you want to open the door and keep it open, so you put door stopper. So you do lock, open the door, so that bila if ada angin tiup, so dia tak langgar orang, so the kinetic punya energy from that wind transfer to the door akan harm people lah. So you lock the door open with you punya door stopper. And this one also, the wheel lock. This one, Katel Hospital. If you go to hospital, you can see the SOP of operating portable bed tu kan. From the ambulance tu, they must lock dulu, then put mangsa from ambulance transfer, then unlock baru boleh jalan. So they are particular about this wheel lock. This is also to prevent the kinetic energy to harm people. So door latch and chemical bottle cap. So dalam ada energy, we got the chemical energy inside. So chemical energy boleh cause harm to the skin. So we contain the energy. So the bottle cap is the lock device. And the label dekat luar ni, this is tagging information. So keep reach from children. Keep it. This is hazardous. So in a simple bottle, you pun boleh nampak lockout and tagout. Okay, so basically you boleh understand dah the function of lockout, why we lock out, and then day-to-day punya device related to lockout. And then why we need to tag out. So as you can see here, I didn't put industry punya tag here. I just need to share the understanding. The only reason why we tag out our equipment is to display our information. That's the only reason. So if management said, I only want to buy padlock, I don't want to buy tag, or I want to buy tag, I don't want to buy expensive padlock. So you need to understand why you need to buy. First, to lock as a locking device, and then tag is for information. So dekat kedai pun, if kedai 7E, kedai Mr. DIY, pukul 10, before pukul 10, the tag says close. So without knocking the door, you dah boleh nampak dah kedai ni masih tutup. If you cuba buka pun, then the door is locked. So they lock and they tag. So lepas pukul 10, they unlock the door, they remove the tag. So now, without cakap pun you dah tahu kedai ni dah buka. So similarly to hotel, you lock the door because you're sleeping inside, so do not disturb. You lock the door, you swing lagi, please make out my room. There's nobody inside the room, but there are valuable things inside my room, but you can come in and make up my room. So basically, these are the reasons why we tag out. We lock to prevent, we tag to inform. Okay, so those safety and operation people ask how, why. So you need to understand lock is to prevent, tag out is to inform. All right, then you realize what kind of tag I kena beli, what type of lock I kena spend. Okay, different type of information tag. You can see various tag in industry. So basically, the common things, the common things we have industry on tagging, there's no standard tagging. Okay, bear in mind there's no standard tagging. Kalau I pakai warna kelabu, salah ke? Betul. No one akan blame you. Different color, different label on the tag. But most commonly used is the attractive and striking color lah. You see yellow, kena ada, red kena ada, all these hazardous punya logo kena ada, warning, danger, caution. These are all the common labels kena ada dekat tag lah. And some people they have this different tag. Macam untuk sped blind, they use green color to identify. Some big organization different tag for different purpose, different tag by different department. It depends. So as long as you know your equipment, as long as you know your department, then you boleh start purchase or design your tag. Okay. So that is introduction on common why we need to lock and then why we need to tag. Now we go to industry punya LOTO purpose and procedure. So we repeat again why we lock out in industry. In industry. Basically, the placement of lockout device on energy isolating device to ensure that the isolated equipment cannot be operated until the lockout device is removed. Just now kita pasang door stopper to prevent pintu from langgar orang, or you use the door stopper. Okay, now untuk industry punya, we use lockout to ensure isolated equipment cannot be operated. Okay, until the lockout device is removed. So you can see the image here. Valve cannot be operated. Valve cannot buka until you remove the chain, lock and tag. Similar to RCU, you cannot switch it on until they remove the habs, the lock and tag. If you go to the fleet warehouse where people use forklift, you see you cannot operate this forklift. You cannot pegang the steering until they remove the habs, the lock and tag. So this is how fleet management manage dia punya LOTO lah. Sebab fleet always move kan. So whoever work in fleet punya industry, you need to decide which energy source you nak lock out. These people decide untuk lock out dekat steering. Other people pergi cabut battery and then ikat dengan LOTO, tahan hood kereta, saying this is under maintenance. Other people put cover dekat ignition, put LOTO. Okay, so it depends. It depends how you decide.
Cik Qarmizi, boleh reshare screen?
Oh, sorry. Okay. So basically, you see here the steering car, okay, and this one dekat machine lah. So this is why we lock out, okay, and then why we take out. The placement of tag lock device to provide information and warning that the equipment being isolated. So basically, it's provide information and warning that equipment being isolated and cannot be operated. You dah lock, but then people ask, why you lock? I nak buka boleh tak? I nak operate boleh tak? You don't tell me anything here. So you put tagging, then you inform. Do not operate, still under maintenance. Do not operate, it maintenance by Ahmad bin Abu. Do not operate until further notice. Do not operate this equipment from 15 April until 30 April. It depends apa information you nak letak dalam tag. It's up to you. It's up to your organization. Okay. So you see here, there are 2 people installing tag dekat MCC and then various discipline. So this type of LOTO, if one person remove the tag, there's still remaining 2, still the machine cannot be operated. And then the last one to remove, only then they can operate. Okay. And then this is group lockout box. And then this one, I'm just showing various color of padlock. So if you don't understand the reason why you lock, what information you need, then the question will ask, there are colorful padlock selling in the market, should we buy or not? So in our full energy isolation course, I will explain, should you buy on color coded tag and remain your padlock similar color, or color coded padlock with similar color of tags. It depends. Okay, so basically 2 common types of energy isolation. One is physical isolation. Some company call it mechanical isolation. It depends. So basically refers to isolation using mechanical means, tutup valve, letak stopper, letak rantai, all this physical isolation. And then example is install blind, spade, removal of spool piece. And then electrical isolation. So this is second one, the common types refers to switch off equipment, switch off manpower supply, rack out at your substation. Okay, so physical isolation. This is from my more than 10 years understanding the level of isolation. I've been to few places as contractor, as auditor, and then I saw various type of isolation lah. It is required the highest level of isolation, but due to poor understanding, they are doing the first level of isolation. So this first level isolation is always we call single valve isolation. We're still talking on the physical isolation. Single valve isolation. So basically single valve isolation, easy to understand, kita tutup pipe air lah. Tutup pipe air, single valve isolation, so that plumber boleh datang and dicabut pipe and tukar baru lah. Single valve isolation. So second level punya isolation is double block and bleed. You isolate both upstream dengan downstream punya valve, and then the energy or content trapped dalam this pipeline, you bleed or you drain. Okay, so this is double block and bleed. We call it DBB. And then the third level is always the positive isolation. So positive isolation is always preferable option. Even if you see dalam DOSH, Industry Code of Practice, Energy Confined Space, Safe Practice in Confined Space 2010, for confined space entry, DOSH memang stated dalam book dia, it is mandatory for positive isolation. So positive isolation basically you pasang spade, you pasang blind, you drop spool, or you reverse you punya spectacle blind. So these 3 punya level lah. So depends dengan you punya awareness, you punya employee punya understanding, criticality. They understand how well their equipment, they understand their process, they understand dia punya contain hazard dalam, and then isolation method, then they decide which method they're going to use for isolation. So single valve isolation. So basically single valve isolation, in my time, I only allow it for non-hazardous system. Usually utility water, less than 1 bar, kita panggil air lah, air pipe kita lah. So non-hazardous lah. Kalau bocor pun, it will not harm people kan. So that one kita boleh pakai single valve isolation. Okay, so like this one single valve isolation untuk shutdown tangki, but no confined space activity. You just shut down untuk buat monthly stock calculation, macam tu. So bolehlah pakai single valve. Okay, this one single valve, this one single valve. And then double block and bleed. So if you see double block and bleed, if you see design, you can always see 2 valve In between, itu valve, upstream, downstream, and you can see drain, valve, bawah lah. Okay, so block, bleed. Close, drain. Close, vent. So either manual valve or motorized valve. So bawah dia mesti ada drain. So kalau you ask after this kan, Mizi, we have valve 2 but we don't see any drain. So I always cakap during my time working together with technical integrity process safety, we always have this mantra when we review document. We always said design it right, operate it right, maintain it right. So kalau you ada 2 valve, tak ada bleeder in between, tak ada valve in between, you jangan panic. You just assume that the design mungkin salah lah. They didn't design it right. So if you design it right, then people put operate it right, they can easily shut down it and hand over to maintenance for maintain it right lah. Okay. The last one, untuk third level, this is always preferable, positive isolation. Number 1 is removal of spool piece between pipe connection. So you can see this one, this is one single pipe, ada spool piece tengah-tengah ni. So they remove this. They have this expansion joint kan untuk thermal punya shock. So basically why this one we call positive isolation. Let's say people are working on downstream of the equipment, isolation, and then this valve ada, they cannot sit tightly lah. So gas boleh slip through or hazardous content boleh slip through, pass through. So instead of they going to the people directly working there, so they keluar pergi atmosphere lah. You dah control. You memang dah control dah. Before you pergi drop spool, you dah double block and bleed. But then if it's passed through again due to mechanical failure, it will not go directly pergi confined space, pergi vessel or any hot work, pergi working on the downstream side lah. So the gas, air, chemical akan keluar pergi bawah. Okay. So tadi drop spool. Second one is kita insert blind. This one you tengok insert blind. Buka flange, sumbat masuk dalam. So kalau ada pass through, dia akan block by this blind punya wall lah. So it cannot pass through here. Or this one is reverse spectacle blind. So kalau question kenapa pakai spectacle blind, kenapa pakai blind, it's always related to cost jugalah. So this one blind, lepas you put flange here, you can take out this one, pasang tempat lain pula. Take out this one, pasang tempat lain pula. So cheaper lah, cheaper. This one spectacle blind, memang stay on this connection. Yeah? Whenever you want to use it, you just swing it lah. So electrical isolation, normally kita pakai switch off. I've seen some industry when they use do maintenance on rotating equipment. Rotating equipment 1000 kilowatt lah energy. They just do minimum, they switch off unit punya equipment switch saja. So this is very dangerous. So during my time, we switch off dekat side, then we go dekat substation. We together with the chargeman untuk rack out dia lah. Rack out dalam electrical kita akan panggil dia positively isolated. So dalam question Excel tu pun ada tanya soalan apa PPE untuk perform isolation dalam substation. So I'm not electrical punya expert, but I've seen them many times. So kalau you nak tengok PPE buat rack out, these are the PPE lah. Arc flash suit, glove, semua ni lah. This special punya PPE handling electrical lah. Okay, so basically procedure of energy isolation. If you don't have any procedure energy isolation, you should start develop slowly. If you don't know where to start, no problem. Pergi contact Syafiqah. They will contact you with me. So basically the end-to-end process, but not limited to, basically the whole energy isolation process is application of permit to work and other document, and then physical and electrical isolation. Sometimes in small organization, they use only isolation certificate. Dalam dia letak electrical, mechanical, radiation, semua letak dalam. In bigger company, they have separate physical isolation, mechanical isolation or electrical isolation. They have different type of energy in separate document. and then isolation verification, document and LOTO key management, normalization or de-oscillation. So these are the most important parts dalam LOTO, these two, verify and key management. A lot of people tired buat LOTO because padlock asyik hilang, rantai asyik hilang, padlock ada, kunci tak ada. So without improper LOTO key management, then the LOTO program hardly becomes successful lah. So this is common workflow. Common workflow. So number one, you prepare document. So before you buat isolation, there are two types of isolation. Satu require permit. Satu the normal isolation. Contoh the isolation mention specific dalam you punya document standard operating procedure. Macam switch over pump A pergi pump B, ataupun switch over conveyor A pergi conveyor B, or switch over agitator A pergi agitator B. While plant is still running, they're switching over A to B. That one, you kena follow dia punya standard operating procedure lah. But this one is, I'm saying if you want to isolate due for maintenance punya purpose, okay, totally shut down. So prepare document, isolation document, job hazard, job method statement, and the second one, semua document dah ready, get approval for isolation. So I've seen at one place, remote place lah, they isolate dulu, baru dapat approval because due to remote kan. So in between I said, if something happened to you during the isolation because of incompetent person, so who should be blamed? The boss tak bagi approval lagi, you dah pergi isolate. So you should always get approval for isolation, and then it's always get approval after isolation is complete. So the area owner need to know that you're going to do isolation, then area owner need to know that they completed the isolation. So perform isolation as per approved document. Isolate dah, testing pun dah, then you install Lockout Tagout. Okay? Alright. Then verify isolation. So you see here, I put specifically verify isolation because some of the organisation they do the EI LOTO macam suka-suka short sendirilah. Maksudnya area equipment owner isolate then hand over dah. So the receiving party have 100% punya trust dengan handover without verifying the isolation. So that's why you punya training program, you can identify who will attend yearly punya training, who will attend 2 yearly punya training based on the punya frequency of using isolation lah. So verify isolation is part of workflow, and then that's dah verify, handover equipment untuk maintenance, start maintenance, testing. Testing also we will teach you in detail during our full version training. And then we'll complete retain equipment. Okay, this is basically common workflow lah. Your organization might have different workflow than what Intensive Energy proposed here. So golden rules lah, golden rules. So yesterday punya question, how. So understand the golden rules. Then you ada lega sikit how you want to develop you punya EI LOTO program lah. So process of EI LOTO must always within as low as reasonably practicable. So ada soalan semalam, kalau kilang tu equipment lama, dah obsolete tapi still in place running, tak ada spare part, susah nak isolate how. So you understand the equipment, understand the process, then you buat alap how best I can isolate this, minimize the hazard. So you understand your equipment lah. Second tu qualified person. Okay, qualified person mesti train punya person. And then all equipment must be locked out to protect against accidental. So you bila you isolate, you kena lock out. Okay. And then never attempt to operate any switch, valve or other energy isolating device. So if you jalan dalam plant, mungkin operation people, safety people, they won't touch equipment yang ada install LOTO. But other people datang tengok, cantik switch ni, tapi ada LOTO. They don't understand the lock, they don't understand the tag, they pun cuba-cuba. So never attempt. So basically some organisation they put specifically dalam technical guideline, safety guideline, violation of safety rules, do not attempt any damage to LOTO. They specifically mention this. So If LOTO is there, don't ever touch, don't ever try to remove. And then never remove blocking device until semua personal tools obstruction has been cleared. And then if the equipment of system must remain energized during work, all parties involved need to establish adequate alternative hazard control. So basically, you kena buat risk management lah, risk assurance, how you can proceed with maintenance with minimum isolation. Okay, this is my 6 golden rules. You might have different golden rules in your organization lah. So basically, this is LOTO procedure. So first you switch off power button. Belum install LOTO lagi, you switch off dulu. Then you pergi ke substation to switch off the main power supply. Okay, dah you switch off main power supply, you install LOTO. Then you patah semula balik pergi ke remote control unit untuk perform test. So you switch off, switch on balik, tengok energize ke tak. If confirm tak energize, then baru you install LOTO. Okay. First pergi equipment punya switch off, then pergi main power supply punya switch off, install LOTO, then come back untuk test. If okay, then you install LOTO for both. So if you involve motor dengan pump, I always recommend people please isolate electrical first. Sebab if you tak isolate electrical first, suddenly you nak pergi isolate valve, suddenly motor you start, electrical you energize, habis you kena splash. If you tengah drain, suddenly you punya pump start, you kena splash. So always isolate electrical first, baru you pergi punya equipment. Okay, so then you pergi remove remaining energy dalam equipment you dah drain. Then you install LOTO dekat drain. Then you pergi close inlet outlet bypass lah. Okay. So question, where do you keep your isolation keys? This one pun I akan tell you thoroughly dalam our training by the end of this month lah. Okay. So group lockout box ah. So if you ada dekat office, you pernah beli, I saw some company pernah beli tapi tak tahu nak pakai macam mana, where to put, how to use, apa letak dalam, apa letak luar. So also on the last, nanti I beritahu lah. So this is transparent punya box, and this one is portable punya box. Why portable? Why fixed? It's all depend dengan you punya business, depend dengan you punya industry. This one selalunya I advise duduk dalam workshop lah. Workshop dekat kereta, or lorry or truck, ada repair engine, ada tukar tayar, everything. So bring the lockout box nearer to them lah. Okay. So benefit of fixed transparent box. I always prefer the fixed transparent box because number satu, the see-through glass enable worker to verify numbers of isolation key for each equipment. So you nampak this one sample tengah-tengah ni, there is key inside. There is key inside. So bila you nampak key ada 4, then you refer cross-check dengan you punya document isolation point ada 4, then hati you lega. You nampak 4 kunci, document kata 4 isolation point, then okay. Kan? So tapi kalau you ada tak see-through punya box, so you kena verify satu-satu. You wonder apa dalam that lockout box lah. And then fixed location of lockout box. Enable area owner to have full control. So kalau lockout box duduk fixed, especially nearby area owner punya office, kita panggil kadang-kadang area owner, plant manager, or factory manager, or station manager. So if lockout box duduk dekat dia, they can see all the movement of isolation dekat dengan dia. Okay, they can see isolated equipment, berapa masa aktif, berapa ready to start up. Okay, compared to if you bawa lockout box pergi jalan-jalan, so the area owner cannot see the lockout box lah, portable. So information on all isolated equipment system in one place. Last but not least, less risk of having non-compliance to lockout box requirement. So some organisation they have the lockout box requirement. So lockout box requirement kata jumlah kunci dalam lockout box mesti sama dengan approved document. So if you punya document tempat lain, lockout box tempat lain, PTW tempat lain, so it's very difficult for you to do your audit and for document preparation and everything lah. Okay, so basically benefit of lockout station. Lockout station perlu ke tak perlu? I would say perlu for good housekeeping lah. Okay, standardization of practice across department. So you imagine kalau dekat sini, if you have red color for operation, green color for instrument, blue color for maintenance, orange color for electrical. So dekat lock station ni, you receive work order untuk isolate equipment. Electrical come here, mechanical come here, tag 2 padlock, tag 1 padlock. So you have one lockout station. There's place where you can discuss lah. Okay. So reduce waste. Reduce waste is the most important thing lah. All the recycle punya tag, after completion, after normalization, put back here. So this one very good housekeeping lah. So kadang-kadang during my time pun, kita letak dalam pouch, kita letak dalam kita punya bag, dah we don't put it back. So tiap-tiap tahun company kena beli balik lah. So why various color? Various color pros dia to differentiate. Okay, setiap disiplin ada padlock masing-masing. To beautify. I panggil dia beautify lah. Sebab you need to lock regardless what color, I don't care as long as you lock. Tapi kadang-kadang people pun tak tahu, do we need color? Do we need color? Do we really need color? So they pun belilah. So actually during my time, masa I work dekat remote area, we don't have this lavish procurement beli all this color punya lock. Color punya lock is very expensive. So we use the 3 cycle punya, and then we design our own tagging. So that tagging refers to which department lah. As communication tools. So colored pun bagus, color coded punya padlock, communication tools. So if ada padlock warna merah, area owner boleh nampak, oh, operation people are doing job there. Of color biru, or instrument people is doing job there. So color coded as a communication tool lah. Without us, by seeing color, they know who people work. Cons, expensive. Okay, expensive. This kind of padlock, I think those people who ask, kata boleh tak beli from local vendor. Maybe they tengok the price a bit expensive. So this color coded padlock is pricey. And then high maintenance cost. So once blue padlock is damaged, you cannot use red to replace blue. Blue hilang, kena beli blue lah. Red hilang, kena beli red lah to replace. So high maintenance lah. And then procurement tak jual satu-satu. They kena beli in bulk. Okay. Not necessary. So as long as you know your purpose. So this is basically sample. This one, the LOTO dekat linkage. If you ada steam driver, steam driven punya engine or diesel engine. So this one linkage, once you linkage dia, then the gear akan engage, akan rotate lah. So they install lock dekat sini. They install lock dekat instrumentation. They install lock dekat machine. So this one dalam kilang-kilang lah. So you see they group lockout dekat RCU. Okay. So this one dalam energy related oil and gas, water treatment. So valve. So this one quite expensive lah. The hand wheel cover. Okay. But since this valve, they don't have place to install the chain. So they buy this hand wheel cover lah. Okay, hand wheel cover. So this one, they isolate 2 valve at one time. 2 valve using 1 LOTO. Dulu people ask, Mizi, boleh ke? I said, boleh. As long as you record. I don't say each valve need to have 1 LOTO. If 3 valve dekat-dekat, 3 LOTO, during big turnaround, during big shutdown, you akan pakai 100 padlocks. So if you boleh simplifikan, you simplifikan. Gatherkan semua. As long as you record it, as long as you letak point apa, padlock number, tag number, no problem. As long as your document is correct. Okay. So which one you prefer? Soalan ni you boleh discuss sendiri lah. I am not open this for discussion. So this one, padlock without any information. This one ada tag with information. Name, position, department, date. So basically this type, I prefer this type sebab this one boleh recycle. I don't conteng anything here. So lepas saya pakai, I boleh recycle balik. So all the name, position, department, date, I put dalam document lah. Document, A3, A4, isolation document ke PTW document. So document is cheap, 20 cent, 25 cent. Kalau colored 3 pieces, 45 cent. Tapi this tagging, if I pakai pensel tak boleh. Pakai pen biasa, once kena weather, matahari, hujan, the marker akan padam. So you use permanent marker. Once you use permanent marker, it's difficult untuk padamkan lah. So this one during my time, 11 ringgit to 15 ringgit each. Plastik punya, depends siapa buat lah. Okay. So I already explained on the process. Now we go pergi sustainability. So I recap sikit OSHA regulation. This is OSHA said, address the practice and procedure necessary to disable machinery or equipment, therefore preventing release of hazardous. So OSHA mentioned about control of hazardous energy lockout tagout dalam title 29. And then DOSH recommendation. I've gone through some of the question, which law, which regulation. I would like to say I have not come across specific document or industry code of practice regarding LOTO, specific, okay, specific. But dalam industry code of practice, for confined space, they mention positive isolation, but they did not mention lockout tagout. Of course, they beritahu install blinds, reverse spade, but they did not mention lockout tagout. So lockout tagout at this point, there's no as per my knowledge, if you found, please let me know. As per my knowledge, there's no specific guideline. Yang ada recommendation ada. If you can see, DOSH punya in website bila accident related to conveyor, okay, conveyor belt, the motor tak LOTO. So DOSH punya recommendation, LOTO should be implemented. How? They don't tell how. So as a company punya representative, you need to identify lah how you want to prevent accident by implement LOTO lah. So this is the new one by DOSH, 9 langkah LOTO. Okay, 9 langkah LOTO. So this one developed, can't remember, maybe last year, 2018. Maybe you can check later on. So this is new lah. So finally they come out with process flow. Kenal pasti identify hazard, memberi notifikasi maklumat kepada pekerja. In our organisation, sometimes we don't inform pakai hailer atau paging lah. We use PTW as information lah. PTW is also as communication tool. Switch off, isolate, install LOTO, tetapkan semua kawalan fungsi pada on during testing, kembalikan semua alat switch to off, do maintenance, remove LOTO. So it's very basic workflow. There's no document management. They don't tell you where to keep the padlock and everything locked. Okay, but DOSH has done a very good job to identify this one. So as I said, we have ICOP 2010 dalam point 7 isolation requirement. This one ada mention dalam DOSH punya document. Positive isolation to prevent accidental for confined space. Detonation and lockout tagout or both. Okay, mixers, agitators, other equipment, moving parts. So as long as you jumpa moving part, agitators, conveyors, then for maintenance, LOTO is advisable. So this one by JKR, Jabatan Kerja Raya. I can't remember, is this only for JKR Sarawak or JKR Federal? If you see the safety golden rules, they also mention LOTO number 8, bawah poster ni. But I asked some of the divisional engineer, they also don't understand yet lah the LOTO, but it's a policy. So they also start to emphasize. So government pun dah start, government agency, public work department lah. Okay, so findings, this I jumpa dalam website, West Phoenix Power Plant. So this is very good lockout group station and good poster. Lockout tagout is serious business. Your life depends on it. Use it properly because your family, friend and co-worker depend on you. Okay. As a worker, you depends you punya EI LOTO program. As family, they rely on you untuk feed them, provide them shelter. So please develop your punya EI LOTO properly so that they can come home safely lah. So documentation and record, this is what we check in intensive energy bila we buat audit. Training record, energy isolation book. So if you come to our full paid session end of this month, we give you the certificate attendance that will become your training record. And then energy isolation logbook, device list, completed PTW certificate. This is part of audit punya part lah. Approved list of authorized person. You attend the EI LOTO punya training. You buat practical, then the area owner should authorize you as a person lah untuk buat isolation audit checklist. Okay, this is training, 1 yearly, 2 yearly punya, 3 yearly, siapa patut attend. Okay, training requirement, kena tahu role and responsibility. So basically 3 yearly training ni, I selalu identify as area owner lah, atau kekilang, plant manager, factory manager. They are not the person who do isolation. They are not person who doing the maintenance, but the person who taking care of all the equipment lah. So basically, they need to have this knowledge. Okay, so in intensive energy, if you call us untuk buat LOTO program, first we come dengan survey checklist. So we come to your place, buat survey checklist based on this semua checklist lah. You ada procedure tak in place? Training ada tak? Do you appoint authorized person? External maintenance, if other contractor come, do maintenance on your equipment, has they been briefed on your energy isolation? These are all the survey checklists we will provide when we come to your place untuk buat survey lah. Okay. Record maintain, equipment control valve handle provide means locking out. So from this survey, we will come to you with the proposal, document, how we can start up, move on with your document on EI LOTO program. So if you have developed, okay, if you develop that survey just now, if you haven't developed, you want to develop, you can call us. But if you already developed, if you want to know if this comprehensive enough, the isolation program, the energy isolation program, lockout program is sufficient for our industry. So we come with tier 1 checklist lah. So we see your mechanical isolation, physical isolation, which we cross-check with your document, and is equipment isolated as per approved isolation plan. Kadang-kadang we found approved cakap lain, you isolate lain. So bila incident happen, area owner kata, I approve from A to B to C. But suddenly you isolate A, pergi D, pergi F, pergi G, then balik pergi B. So I'm not responsible for this. So dah dispute dalam mahkamah kan. Owner allow untuk pergi isolate while the hazard still there. So when we do audit, we help you to do audit, the equipment isolated as per approved isolation plan lah. Group lockout, implementation, lockout box, how do you practice lockout box. PTW, for maintenance PTW, and then completion dah remove, do you record tak dalam you punya isolation document? If you close PTW, do you remove your padlock? Do you remove your punya maintenance punya key? All these things we akan cross check during the tier 1 audit lah. So this is basically some of the documents. If you balik lepas ni, you nak buat audit, you dah semangat kan, you nak buat audit. So please check your punya isolation document. You have this part, worksite precaution. Okay, this is one of the company punya isolation document. I pergi extract sikit. Blind spec list attached is approved. So once they submit the isolation document, they need to attach the blind list lah. So blind list tu area owner tengah review with engineers, approve ke tak? So you don't submit empty punya blind list. So blind list, sebab blind list tu ada rating. So this pipelines 150 or 300, the blind kena equivalent punya rating. So so the rating tu kena be approved. Excuse. And then isolation details mark on drawing. So if they submit you the document with isolation detail drawing, make sure it mark. Kalau you nak enforce lagi, the mark punya document pun approve. So there are various supporting document pre-approved before they approve the isolation document lah. Okay. So this one also dalam section sekian-sekian, physical mechanical isolation. This one also you kena check. Safety people lah, safety people kena check. Location of isolation point. Sometimes I kata they put P100, pump 100, or motor 100, or C100, conveyor 100. Dulu I check conveyor 100 ataupun P100, you letak pump je ke? I need to know inlet or outlet or bypass. I kata common energy source mesti ada 4. Inlet, outlet, bypass dengan drain. So at least I kena ada 4 minimum. So they put lah location of isolation point, you kena tengok betul-betul. Is it inlet, outlet, lock number, tag number? Kalau tag number tak ada, ask them why. Where is the tag number? So from this one, you boleh tahu actually from the document tu, they are comply or not with the procedure. Valve position, name, designation. And then verify by who? Every line isolated must be verified. Bila removal, sometimes people bila they remove, dah document pun tinggal macam tu je. So we need to ensure that if you ada 4 rows, verified also 4 rows, removal also 4 rows. Okay, if removal tak ada, tak complete, something wrong lah with the isolation or with the document. So untuk electrical pun ada fuse remove, fuse no, breaker number. Last time they put the location here as location saja, substation. So I always say location put it properly, substation 22, substation 23, breaker number MCC 0102. Because wrong breaker number, if you wrongly fill up breaker number, there are incident. I can't remember something, I think one kilang in Bintulu, Sarawak. Can't remember, I did aluminium punya kilang. Wrong breaker number, they start up it and it cause incident lah. So breaker number, specific, kena specific lah. Okay. So there are question, should I write up every procedure? So basically safety people, they don't involve in developing standard operating procedure untuk operate plant. So operate equipment developed by operation people, safety people buat on LOTO. So basically in my previous company, SOP dah mention dah shutdown operation. You see, this one ada startup operation, this is shutdown operation, close valve, drain, close blanket gas. These are all shutdown punya sequence. So LOTO punya part is common. So if you have specific shutdown operation for specific equipment, then you punya isolation requirement will be common punya equipment. So kalau pump, this is this and that you punya requirement. Kalau motor, this and that. Kalau high voltage motor, this and that. So you can have common punya safety guideline lah. Okay, and then if you implement group lockout box, this is what you need to check. Okay, key, number of keys equivalent dalam LOTO recorded in approved isolation document. Approved 4, point, kunci kena ada 4. Okay. So, satu kunci minimum kena ada. Minimum of 1 LOTO must be installed by area owner. So, the mantra always first to install, last to remove. And then if maintenance work in progress, every LOTO installed by other discipline, maintenance must name on tag similar with applicant PTW. So this one you cross check. When during my time I work very detailed. I kata PTW by Ahmad, kenapa LOTO installed by Abu? So who keep the key? PTW owner keep the key ataupun LOTO owner keep the key? So kalau maintenance you need to understand. If I come with PTW, I must come with padlock. My PTW approved, I lock padlock, I keep the key. Okay? So cannot be different person dekat tagging sini. Nanti susah you nak cari. You call Abu sebab Abu nak balik. You call Abu said the key is holding by PTW owner. So make sure name on tag is similar with PTW. PTW number on tag must similar with active PTW. So dekat sini, if you install maintenance key, meaning to say the PTW is still active. Okay, bukan close punya PTW. Kalau close PTW, the isolation, the LOTO must be removed lah. Right. So yesterday got question. Kalau management buyout management how, then I recap Trevor Clark kata if you think safety is expensive, you should try an accident lah. So this is our other service. We develop procedure guideline for you. We setting up LOTO system on premise. We do in-house LOTO training. We come to your place and do LOTO training based on your equipment. And then we supply of LOTO device. This one is up to you. I don't say, what I can say is there's no one single vendor akan provide semua. Some of the vendor, they provide document service, buat guideline je. Some of the vendor, they jual barang LOTO je. They don't know how to use it. Maybe they know, but they cannot relate it with your equipment. So in intensive energy, we can provide you end-to-end punya solution lah. So this is the last one. This is why I keluar daripada my previous organisation and set up partner with IASB. We digitize your existing system. So during my time, I digitized LOTO procedure. So kalau digitize LOTO procedure, the timing, the time frame, isolation must approve first, baru PTW boleh approve. And then LOTO kena install first, semua kena verified, baru isolation boleh. So if you control things by digital, there are a lot of process digitally yang manual process tak boleh buat lah. They bypass time, kadang PTW jalan dulu, isolation belum complete. So when we do all the digitalization, digital logbook as per suruhan daya tenaga dalam substation, we also digitize it lah. Okay. So next coming April is 28 April. So book your calendar. You can contact Shafiqa in the email. What you will get, HRDF, CEP point, certificate, training materials. So I have 3 minutes left. So I'm going to answer some of this question. Noaini said, what are the challenges implementing Lockout Tagout? Challenges ada dua je. Management buy-in, employee buy-in. Okay, how to convene both of them. Noaina Najia said some company don't want to apply LOTO because they find it troublesome. So how you want to start? First, you can buat case study. If any accident happen in your organization related to LOTO, you can use that one. Or you can do near miss, or you can use the same case study for similar industry. Okay, then you propose solution lah. Then you present. Okay. Satish Warren said, what are the procedure methods to be considered before commencing the task? As I shown earlier, you can develop proper shutdown sequence lah. You need to understand you have shutdown sequence. You have startup sequence. If you have shutdown sequence, that's good. Sebab LOTO always come after shutdown. Okay. Nabila said, is there any differences LOTO, brownfield, greenfield? Yes. Greenfield, zero energy. You tak introduce energy lagi. So all the pipeline, all the vessels semua zero energy. So once you want to start up, you don't need LOTO. You start up, you pakai commissioning procedure unless some of the equipment masih lagi in construction, tak boleh start up lagi due to failing during test. So that one you unit shutdown. So unit shutdown equipment yang kena ada individual LOTO. The rest of the process, you tak payah LOTO, you start accord commissioning punya procedure lah. Brownfield, ada trap punya energy lah dalam in between. How effective LOTO in ICT daily routine? I purposely ambil ICT ni because we doing ICT now on the safety digital. As long as you handle electrical hazard, ada power supply, then proper energy isolation LOTO shall be in place lah. Ask your punya electrical technician lah. Weakness, Very said, do you need to have written procedure? Yes, your organization should have minimum information on shutting down equipment. Joel said, who's supposed to be in charge? So in charge, I would say both safety and operation lah. Safety is custodian of safety guideline. Operation is the implementer and executor lah. Siva, boilerman. I specifically letak boilerman sini because I also certified boilerman dulu. So do we shoot blind first or LOTO first? It's a very good question. I would say 90% I say LOTO first. Once you isolate, you dah close valve. And then you letak lockout, you letak tagout, then boleh install blind. Okay? But depends. Kalau we saying about you punya FDI fan, forced draft induced draft fan kan. So you LOTO first, it all depends lah. So I always say LOTO first, then install blind. But depends dengan you punya safety guideline lah. Shafika said how to know a LOTO device is a good to buy from supplier. As I said, as long as you know what you want to buy, what tag you want to buy, what padlock you need, every supplier sells good product lah. I tak condemn siapa-siapa pun. Everyone sells good product. It's your organization should decide what to purchase. Okay. As far, what are the criteria for LOTO device? Can a local manufacturer? So local manufacturer able to develop. So it's not necessary you purchase from overseas all this tag. Okay, during my time, I even go to kilang cetak apa ni? Kedai cetak banner ni kan. So I tell them, I want to have this size. Boleh tak print? Basically, printing company can do a lot of things. You just need to tell them what you want, apa size, apa tag. So it's cheaper lah. Okay. So Amirul said, if plant using very old machineries tak ada proper mechanism. So how you can control hazard? As long as you understand equipment, machine, process flow, hazard, you will find a method. So kalau that valve tak ada hand wheel, during my time kalau tak ada hand wheel, I cabut hand wheel dah. I loosen screw, I cabut hand wheel. So people tak boleh operate. Then I letak tag. So as long people tak boleh operate, if there no means of locking device, you letak tag. And then by buat proper risk assessment, then it should be okay. Mr. Lee said, what is impact if not follow LOTO system? Basically, you can damage pain lah, people, environment, asset, reputation. Khairul, who is responsible for ensuring LOTO is applied, area owner, plant manager, they are the ones, the persons who are responsible lah untuk ensure LOTO to in place. Okay. Izami ni sahabat, our client from Selangor. Responsible person. So optional personal responsible to execute EI LOTO, but safety personal responsible. So you need to understand both. Safety jangan paksa diri to stress kalau operation tak comply. You build document, you build guideline, and then handholds dengan operation, they are the one who execute it. If they don't understand the document, explain to them. If you don't know how to start, ask them how should we start. Okay. Okay, I think I've complete my 1 hour session. If anything, you can contact us. You can connect with Shafika. Shafika, I hand over back to you.
Okay, thank you, Encik Qarmizi. So, Encik Qarmizi, we have question from participant in the chat box. Okay, first question is from Ms. Nabila. Is EIC form necessary when to isolate the equipment, document to attach with PTW, and other than work leader who can fill in the PTW, and to approve the PTW is AP?
To approve PTW is?
AP.
Oh, authorized person. Okay, usually there are different practice among organization. Some people, they apply isolation document and also PTW as well. During my time, I always said during my time, I am equipment owner lah. So I always prepare the isolation document for maintenance. This is my document. I need to hand over it to you. So you don't come to me apply. I should give you. Macam orang datang rumah kita nak repair aircon, kan? I should hand over the aircon to them safely. Then baru dia datang repair. They will not come to my office. Boss, I mau tutup aircon. I tengah kerja sekarang. You cannot off my aircon. So basically, I will call them. Okay, the aircon has been properly secure. Come, you datang bawa you punya PTW. Isolation document I dah buat. So it depends. So kalau you punya equipment shut down, periodically you ada schedule untuk shutdown, and then you prepare the document PTW by PTW applicant lah. But kalau you ada 3 monthly, 6 monthly punya, sometimes the equipment still running, sometimes maintenance pun akan datang bawa isolation document dan PTW sekali. Depends. I don't have any say here. You should contact you punya safety lah. Okay, next Shamika.
Okay, next question is from Mr. Amirul. Kalau job owner yang jadi owner boleh? Maksudnya kalau maintenance yang buat kerja, jadi maintenance yang kena buat LOTO.
Oh, if they ask us kan, ISB kata tak boleh lah. Tak boleh. They have bias dalam judgement. You don't have third party untuk verify, so it is very dangerous lah. So ask the equipment owner. Okay, let's say you small organisation macam boilerman boilerman dia operate, dia buat maintenance. Okay, level 1, level 2 boilerman dia. So at least tengok you punya steam capacity. If you have 2 boilerman ataupun you ada engineer, at least different people buat isolate, different people verify. You need more eyes untuk isolation. If the same person isolate, the same person juga verify, then dia juga buat maintenance, you akan prone untuk accident lah. Okay, next Shabika.
Okay, next question is from Mr. Khairul Anwar. From the workflow in the slideshow, it shows perform isolation first then LOTO. Means kita pasang blind dulu lah kan?
So if you refer to the slide before kan, I ada bagi 3 level ni kan. So it's always come with single valve isolation. You tutup valve dulu. Then you pergi ke second one, double block and bleed. Then you pergi third one, bila you dah remove semua hazardous dalam pipeline, then you install blind. So once you buat single valve isolation, you dah boleh install LOTO dekat that valve. You buat second valve punya isolation, you install LOTO lagi. And then you drain, you keep open the drain. Kalau close loop drain, you keep open. Kalau open drain, you close balik. Then you install LOTO lagi. So that one, SVI dengan DBB boleh install LOTO before you proceed dengan blind installation. Okay, so that's what I mean. Install LOTO, baru letak blind. So it depends. Kalau you buat semua in 1 hour, you nak letak blind, baru install LOTO, it's up to you as long as the equipment tu under your control. Okay, next Shabika.
Okay, next question is from Mr. Husamuddin. How to determine a risk which we can consider to have an exemption for LOTO implementation on job specific?
Okay, there are some condition that during my time I kata exemption for LOTO. Contoh, I'm not sure Amir punya industri apa. Contoh, I tukar lampu, switch dengan lampu tu dekat. Okay, I boleh nampak lampu tu. So my PTW is to remove the light, and then the lampu tu I don't need the lockout tagout sebab switch I control. So the problem with most industry, bila accident happen, the switch line, the people buat kerja lain, you cannot visibly tengok switch tu. So people start, you tak tahu, and when people start, they don't know you doing maintenance. Tapi kalau you buat switch, you tukar bulb lampu, lampu kat atas, switch kat bawah, the one I kata you can exempt from doing LOTO lah, but PTW kena ada. Okay, last question, Syafiqah.
Okay, is there any more question from participant?
Oh, 4 je.
If you have any question, you can write in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic also. Okay, I guess that's all the question you have from participants. So thank you Encik Qarmizi for your insightful sharing. I'm sure all of us has learned a lot about LOTO today.
Welcome, Syafiqah.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, these are our core business provided by ISB. We have 5 core business. If you have any inquiry, you can direct to admin@isb.my. And these are our upcoming training schedule. On 20 April, we'll be having Effective Workplace Safety Committee free webinar. And we will have LOTO online training on 28 April, also conducted by Encik Qarmizi. Next, we'll be having Effective Safety, Health and Environment Committee online training on 24th and 25th May 2021. And last, we'll be having Chemical Handling and Spillage Management free webinar on 28 May 2021. So later, we will email to you the link to register for our upcoming training. Okay, so I would like to thank you to all of you for your time today. If you have any question regarding training, you can email to trainingforyou@isb.my. Or if you have any inquiry regarding our core businesses, you can email to admin@isb.my. Well, thank you for your time, everyone. We hope to see you again in our upcoming training.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Sama-sama. Terima kasih Encik Qarmizi.
Sama. Sama Izami,
Thank
sama.
you.
Alright.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.